G'day, welcome to Mt.Coramba apiculture. It's Monday the 2nd of October. Up at Nymboida, up nice and early here, just to try and beat the heat. So yeah, don't plan to be here too long. I just want to have a quick look through these things, maybe do a few alcohol washes and just swap a little bit of gear around and just tidy up things that I did last week. So we'll follow up that hive that I think was queenless and just make a decision on that. We'll have a look at it first and just go through these other bigger hives and see how they're going after I drop those stickies and combs of honey on them from the freezer. I'm just a little bit concerned I might have overwhelmed them, but yeah, they're all flying in and out, so they look okay to me. Anyway, let's go and have a look and we'll see how we go. So this is the hive I identified last week. Looks like it had swarmed, not requeened, so let's have a look and see what's going on in here, and we can make a decision today about what we want to do with it. So that wall frame's got pollen and a bit of nectar in it. Yeah, these bees are really weak, making a lot of noise. However, you can see some larvae in the bottom there. Certainly see worker jelly, just whether it's a queen laying or a laying worker starting to get going. So hopefully I can see a queen here. So something's happening. It may not be what I want to happen. There's basically no bees in those last 6 frames. It really should go into a nuke, and I might just do that now, just to give them, so I don't lose anything to beetles. So it's really important that bees just have enough space that they need, and if a hive this week in a 10 frame box, kind of asking for trouble. So I'm just looking for a queen here again. Nothing seen there. Let's have another look at this one. There's definitely eggs and larvae in there, just yeah, I'm just hoping that they're worker larvae rather than drone larvae. Eggs and larvae, so I think I'd spot a queen if it's such a weak hive, but it's not always that easy. Alright, so what we'll do is just give them another week, see what that develops into, and but in the meantime I'll put them into one of these 6 frame nukes, just so I haven't got so much space. So I've got my 6 frame nuke here. What I'll do as well is put the divider in, just make it into a 3 framer. These are really essentially just 3 frames of bees left in there, so just want to give them every chance. So there's the divider in. And let's just pull these out and get them into this nuke. Last thing I want to lose is all these frames of resources. It's a terrible shame to see these things end up full of beetle larvae, so we should get as much off there as we can, and we'll get these 3 frames into that nuke. Just have a look for the queen again. Last chance. Go in there. So that's a dramatic decline in this hive. It went from a 10 frame tripled into 3 frames of bees, so it's really, I'd say it's just swarmed and swarmed until it couldn't swarm anymore. So let's hope there's a queen in there. We'll give it a week and see what happens. Still quite a few bees inside the wall there. I'll bump them off onto the ground and they'll crawl back into that nuke. Right. So that's that sorted, back into a 3 frame nuke, and just less real estate for me to look after. Losing those other 7 combs, so we'll put them under the hive shortly. Call them in. So I think it's had a super on it last week. Just get and have a look and see how they're going. These up to the top, so that's good. Yeah, this is one of my supers that come out of the freezer, so it's looking really good. They're putting they cleaned them up really nicely. I was worried that it might have just overwhelmed them, but they've got up and cleaned it up nicely, so yeah, that's good. Really keen to get up here and get a bit of the honey off these bees and get it back to the shed at home. There's a nice frame of sealed honey. I really, I'm running low on honey and I really need to get some off. So that's looking good. Yep, good. I won't go any further there. Push that back. Super off and get down to the nitty gritty in this brood box. Quick look in there. Not really one for rummaging around in honey supers. I can tell by the weight of them if they're ready or not. Don't spend a lot of time looking in here. Close to the middle. So this is the super that's been on them since about this time last year. So that's great. Yeah, I might be able to pull a few supers off these hives in the next couple of weeks. Yeah, that's heavy. Oh. Let's have a look in the brood box and see how they're going. Last week they hadn't done a hell of a lot. Just to wait for this season to get going here. But we still want to make sure they're not going to swarm on us, so it's really important we keep up our brood box management. Wall frame there full of honey. A little bit of brood here now. If I find the queen, we'll do an alcohol wash. The alcohol wash requirements have changed with the new order. It was published last week. So it's 10 hives minimum. So if you've got 5 hives, you've got to do everything. If you've got 10 hives, you've got to do everything. Or 10% of your bees. So it's still 10 hives if you've got 100. So my plan is to not wait for 16 weeks and do 10 of them. I'm just going to keep progressively doing them. So I really don't want to wait 16 weeks to find out I've got Varroa in my bees. It's quite hard to detect at low levels with alcohol washes, but if you're not looking at all, you'll never find it. Hopefully the alcohol washing compliance will improve now that people know they're not going to have their bees killed. There's a big queen cell there. I might get rid of it. So just leave it there for a little while just in case I need it. I can come back to it. I think I have got a use for it. So there's that frame of foundation I put in there last week and I haven't touched it, so you know, they're not doing a lot. So there's our queen there. So now that I know where she is, I'll just take the opportunity to do an alcohol wash. Now we'll try and select a frame with a bit of open brood on it. That's a good one. So we'll get 200 to 300 nurse bees. I like these tubs. You can get the bees down into the corner and get them into your wash jar quite easily. Probably 1,000 or so bees there, so we won't need all them. Get them into the corner. screws back on. Start shaking. So I'm just going to let that sit there, like when I put this hive back together. There's the queen going back in. Push that across. Just back there. I'm going to leave that queen cell just in case I need it. Push him down. Put the side back together. Oh, that's heavy. So one of the requirements as well with this alcohol washing is that you keep records. Now, DPI is going to be checking on those records. If you come up as a registered beekeeper and there's no record of you ever doing an alcohol wash, pretty sure it'll come to the attention of the DPI. So you may get a visit, you may get a letter, or be asked to show cause why you don't get a penalty notice for not alcohol washing. So my advice to you is that you alcohol wash your bees. Now, what it also requires is that you keep evidence of that alcohol wash. So what I'll be doing is taking a photo of this with my camera. I use an app called Context Cam. So it imprints on the photograph the geographic location of where you are and the time and the date. So I'm not going to take a photo of this, show the whole world where my beehives are, but I will put an example of a photo with Context Cam in it in the video. So yeah, so need to keep those records for 5 years from memory. So yeah, please do your alcohol washes and provide evidence that you're doing it. So I'm just going to write from the top here, AW for alcohol wash, 2nd the 10th, 23. So I looked at this hive on the 24th of September, which was last Sunday. Got written on the top, no brood, recheck. So let's get inside it, see what the problem is. So bees up the top. Let's see what's going on up here. Brood comb that I've pulled up. As I go through these hives, I'm just looking for supers I can potentially take off, take home and extract. So that's quite heavy, and that's a candidate, particularly if it's broodless or completely queenless. I'll be looking to do something with these frames of honey so they don't get slimed. So let's get down to this brood box. Yeah, very few bees down in here. Doesn't look good for this hive. Let's see what we can find in here. So I'm looking for any signs of a queen. Sometimes they could look queenless, but they're just in that process of requeening. So just want to go through here and see any sort of sign of an egg. a lot of noise too, which was never a good sign. You can see queen cells have hatched, which makes me think they've swarmed and not requeened. Quite a lot of, yeah, what were swarm cells. So, yeah, I'd say this hive is pretty well buggered. So, there's nothing in there, really. No real organisation in there, that I can see. Yeah, just by the sound of them, they sound queenless. I'll give them another week, but in the meantime, I'm gonna grab this super full of honey on the top and put it on top of another hive over here. I really don't want to lose anything to small hive beetle. Just leave that excluder off and drop that on top, and this honey super go on to another hive. So we've got a single hive here. I think I made that up out of a 6-frame nuke the other day. Going to take this super from that what looks like that queenless hive and just whack it straight on the top here. I'm not going to worry about uniting them or anything. These bees will be happy to be up onto a queenless hive. A queen right hive, I mean. That's full of honey, and I don't want to lose it. So those bees will come up and look after it. No worries at all. That's what I'm trying to save. So they'll sort each other out. So yeah, nice short video today. It's got pretty hot here now, it's midday. So yeah, I've done enough. I've looked through all the triples and doubles there and just tidied a few things up. So yeah, still got a couple of queenless hives there, just have to deal with them. Looking through some of these boxes here, just trying to ascertain how much honey I've got. I'm almost out at home, so I need to get some honey out of here down to the house and extract it and into jars, so that might be a job for next week. Got a bit of new extraction equipment coming, so we'll talk about that too when it gets here. So I've done 3 alcohol washes, so the plan is to do my 10 over the 16 weeks, or that's the bare minimum. You really should be doing more if you can, so you don't have to do 10 every 16 weeks on the dot. You can do your 10 over that 16 weeks or in excess. So I think that was one of the real barriers to people doing alcohol washes well, because they were faced with having to do 26 alcohol washes on one day, and it's almost impossible. So it's good that those washing requirements have been relaxed a little bit, and yeah, you can spread them out over that 16 weeks. So don't forget, I've got alcohol wash bottles available on my website. There's a link below in the notes. You can send them Australia wide or anywhere for that matter. Or you can pick them up locally in Coffs Harbour. So yeah, happy to say that nothing seen in those 3 washes, so that's good. Just want to make a point too that one of the ways that we can spread mites around is on our PPE. So when we're working on potentially mite infested sites, we've got use alcohol method spray bottles. So we give our gear a good spray after we're done, particularly down the front and on the sleeves, just in case there's some sort of incidental mites on you. I'm fairly certain that that's one of the ways that mites are being spread by beekeepers who've got large loads of bees and a mite load in them, and they're unaware, and they take off with their gear on and spread it to the next site in their gear. So a bit of a spray with metho. Another thing you can do is have 2 or 3 sets and bag them once you're done. Tie them up. Take them home and put them in the freezer for a few days. So if there's any mites on that, you've isolated them, you can get them in the freezer and it'll kill them, and you can just pull that gear out and reuse it. I also wash my gear. If I don't have time to freeze it, I'll bag it, take it home straight to the washing machine, and take it out and dry it in the sun. The mites aren't going to survive that washing process, so that's another way as well. So I'm hoping that's a good little tip for you to slow the spread, so they say. The thing I just wanted to say is I'm sort of running out of ideas for these things, and I'd like this format of just going through the hives and picking things up that I see every day. If there's anything you want me to do, can you leave a comment in the comments just about what you'd like me to see, or what you'd like me to show you in terms of content. What you won't get is slick editing or background music or anything like that. I just can't do that stuff. I haven't got time. So, but if you want me to talk about specific issues or things you come across in beekeeping, let me know in the comments and I'll see what I can do. All right, thanks for watching.